Hello there, I'm Ksenia Smirnova, and now we will unveil the top news of recent days. The International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for the commanders of the long-range aviation and the Black Sea Fleet of the Russian Federation. We are talking about the long-range aviation commander of the Russian Airspace Forces, Sergei Kubilash, and the commander of the Black Sea Fleet of the Russian Federation, Viktor Sokolov. The Chamber of Pretrial Proceedings finds that both suspects are responsible for missile strikes on the objects of the electric power infrastructure of Ukraine, inflicted by the forces that were under their command. The warrants were issued as a part of the investigation of war crimes inflicted by Russia in Ukraine from October 2022 to March 2023, when Russian terrorists tried to destroy the Ukrainian electrical and heating system.
Once international justice starts working, it cannot be stopped. Justice for Ukraine, for Ukrainians and for the international community as a whole will definitely be restored. I am thankful to prosecutor of the International Criminal Court Karim Khan, to the entire team of the International Criminal Court and our Ukrainian team working to restore justice, all the officials who are investigating Russian war crimes, all the experts who are helping.
Also, the Chamber of Pretrial Proceedings also believes that the strike campaign qualifies as a method of action related to repeated acts against the civilian population, in accordance with state policy within the meaning of Article 7 of the statute. Thus, there are sufficient grounds to believe that the suspects are also responsible for the crime against humanity of inhuman acts which intentionally cause great suffering or serious bodily injury or damage to mental or physical health, according to the relevant article of the Rome Statute. Kubilash and Sokolov are suspected of committing war crimes consisting of attacks on civilian objects, causing excessive accidental harm to civilians or damage to civilian objects, as well as crimes against humanity consisting of committing inhuman acts. There are reasonable grounds to believe that they bear individual criminal responsibility for the crimes, as well as committed them jointly through other persons, gave orders to commit crimes, and didn't make proper control over the forces that were under their command. It is stated in court notices. As stated in the court notice, the contents of the warrants are issued under the label secret in order to protect witnesses and ensure the safety of the investigation. However, given that Russia continues to strike civilian targets in Ukraine, the Chamber believes that public awareness of the warrants can help prevent further similar crimes. Thus, it was hinted in The Hague that these Russian generals are only the beginning of a long list, and there may be other secret warrants for people who are subordinated as well as the commanders of these generals. And yes, they are very close to the dictator. We are already expecting a Russian-style valkaria operation. Currently, NATO countries are afraid that they will have to fight with Russia, but they didn't notice that the Kremlin is already attacking informationally. In particular, the publication of a conversation between German officers regarding the possible use of Taurus missiles to destroy the Kerch Bridge. It will point out the illegally built one. John Kirby called the leaking an attempt by Russia to sow discord between Kiev's Western allies.
This is a bold attempt and a transparent attempt by the Russians to try to sow discord and to try to sow division and try to make it look like the West isn't unified and that even the German government is not unified on what they're doing. And we're not going to just bow down to that bold attempt. We're not going to accept the premise of it. That's what the Russians want. John Kirby, coordinator for strategic communications of the National Security Council of the US.
As we warned, the Kremlin has launched a new, rather powerful campaign to intimidate Ukraine and the West. Germany was hit. Russian propagandist Kisilov, in his program on TV, showed bridges in Germany and threatened to destroy them. Maria Zakharova, the director of the Information and Press Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation, stated that denazification in Germany is not complete. These intimidations will have no effects on Ukraine, which is well aware that Putin will not stop unless he is stopped. Europe must be steadfast in this issue, because Ukraine is standing. The Kremlin is purposefully pressing on pain points. After all, now Macron is talking about sending troops to Ukraine to participate in non-combat missions. Scholz can make a decision about towers. The US Congress will finally make a decision on aid to Ukraine. And the closer the West is to making decisions, the stronger the Kremlin activates operations aimed at disrupting them. And precisely now it is important to show that the West can pass through a criminal moment to demonstrate determination and political will. Many Western politicians still believe that it is possible to negotiate with Russia, but it is not so. Russia is moving to the military and criminality rules. In fact, the military is already driving the processes in this country. Because if some drunk ex-soldier is taken out of the cafe, he is not punished or detained, but the management of this cafe is. And if the military or turbo patriots do not like something, such as a naked party, then people are oppressed and any element of dissatisfaction is eliminated. If you are worried about the spread of canceling culture, look at what is being done in Russia. For example, announced by Putin in a recent message to the Federal Assembly, the personnel program Heroes Time sparked discussion in Russian mass media and social networks. The program is regarded as an open invitation to power, to command posts in various social spheres addressed to veterans and participants of the war unleashed by the Kremlin against Ukraine. According to Putin, it is those who went through the war who should take leading position in the system of education and upbringing of youth in public associations, in state-owned companies, businesses, in state and municipal administrations, as well as heads, regions, enterprises, and largest domestic projects. Such people can be handed over in the future and entrusted to Russia, says the Russian President. But the reality in Russia is now completely different. If you're mobilized or signed a contract, then demobilization can only happen in two cases. You were killed or after achieving all the goals of the war, or, as they say in the Kremlin, the North Military District. Does anyone know what these goals are? Even Carlson Tucker doesn't know and calls the denazification myth and dumbest thing he's ever heard. But the prisoners who signed a contract with the PMC Wagner returned to their hometowns after half a year of war, and the residents of these cities felt it. Every day, there is information that a former murderer, robber, or rapist, after returning from the France, killed, robbed, or raped someone from the civilian population. These are the heroes of Russia. Well, personally, I wouldn't want to come them to my city. That concludes today's video, and thank you very much for watching. Stay updated. Connect, like, and subscribe to our UATV English channel for more news from Ukraine. Your support really matters. Thank you and goodbye.